Third night of the PRCA Pro Rodeo. The crowd's really getting into it. It's tough enough to wear pink tonight. I've got my pink. Starting to drizzle a little bit, but that's only going to add to the excitement.
It wasn't long ago that the car behind me was engulfed in flames when Michael decided to put his life and the lives of his dogs at risk to help someone he didn't even know.
With both football and volleyball seasons just around the corner, I think it's safe to say that this new facility is going to have a dramatic effect on the sports community here at UNC.
These Fox's players had their hands full as well over 160 kids signed up for the camp. It was back to the basics for these CSU volleyball girls. However, as the camp begins to wrap up, after what I've seen, I think it's safe to assume that some of these young athletes may be sporting green and gold in the near future. Boise State will be bringing 2 BCS wins to the Mountain West Conference. What Boise State will be bringing to the future?
In just a few weeks, that hill behind me will be transformed into a racetrack and will host its first event May 8th.
End of the second night at the Pro Rodeo, and let me tell you, plenty of action. But I got to do one last thing before we go, and that's ask Miss Rodeo Colorado here out on a date. So what do you say?
Sorry, I only date real cowboys.
Oh, that stings.
You may have noticed Mike pushing his jogger stroller along Highway 287. He is taking a 4,514-mile journey across America from Oregon to Maine. Mike's purpose for running 30 miles each day is a personal tribute.
Honor. 30 years ago, it was an honor to serve the country myself for 4 years, but I always felt my mission was not complete. It probably took me 30 years to find out what it was, and it was to honor and remember those who served in Iraq.
At each mile marker, a silent memorial is held for a fallen troop.
As their fatality number and their branch of service, their name, their rank, their age, their hometown, and they're placed in reverse chronological so that the last flag placed is the first fatality from Iraq.
Despite the heat, despite the obstacles, every mile marker that Mike reaches gives him one more reason to push to that next one.
The whole thing is kind of like a military operation in logistics, but it took about 3 years of planning.
But Mike wants everyone to know that as he runs by himself, he's not alone.
I had a mom drive all the way from Alabama to, she knew the day her son's flag was going down. She found me on the road. She spent a mile with me on the road with his flag, and then we placed it, and then I pulled it and gave it to her, and she drove back to Alabama.
After 8 pairs of shoes and running across nearly half the country, Mike's mission goes on.
No policy, no politics, just me on a mission to, I guess, create my own invisible wall from coast to coast.
The 2010 urban assault took riders all over Fort Collins and pushed them to their mental and physical limits. It all began at New Belgium Brewing, but after that it was a free range for the teams of 2 as they traveled on bike to 4 locations spread around Fort Collins in any order their little hearts desired. Their goal? To reach all the checkpoints and make it back first, in one piece. Some pretty serious tactics involved.
Know the town.
Yeah, learn how to cheat better. We didn't cheat very well.
There was this guy that threatened to slash my tire.
Come, have fun, don't plan to win, enjoy yourself.
The Paperboy relay was a test of accuracy and balance. The idea of piggyback polo is simple, but it's much easier said than done. In human bowling, one teammate launched another on a skateboard as they held on for dear life heading towards bowling pins. But there was one event a majority of competitors seemed to favor.
The ducky is mine.
Oh, I kind of like the ducky riding.
The ducky was definitely the best.
You just can't go wrong with oversized rubber duckies.
After all the events, this is how it ends, right here with the slip inside. One of the most dangerous, fun events, and that's what the New Belgium Urban Assault is all about.
It rocks. It feels good. Yeah, it was great. Especially the finish line.
Except I didn't really see any other riders after the first event. They must have been all either behind us or in front of us. Yeah. Or we were going the wrong way, one of the two.
Yeah.
But the race wasn't all about taking first place.
Girls just want to have fun. We're all winners today.
Being able to work together, like not as a couple, but just like as people.
In the end, everyone was a winner. Reporting in Fort Collins, I'm Anthony Keith, Northern Colorado 5 Sports. A wide variety of events ranging from bull riding to the even more dangerous mutton busting. I'll let you know firsthand there's nothing that will bust you quite like a mutton. The kids' rodeo is no joke. These cowboys and cowgirls have the bruises to prove it. As the saying goes, if you mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns. Despite the risks involved, these youngins showed no fear.
No, was it scary?
Not that scary.
One of these days you think you'll be riding the bulls?
Nah.
It's not all fun and games. Some competitors were in it to win it.
I won boot scramble, and I'm not sure how good I did on barrel racing, but I did pretty good.
What's your favorite part out there?
Boot scramble.
Yeah, how come?
Because I won this belt buckle last year. It was really fun. I feel like I want to ride it again.
These kids set the stage for the real Cowboys as the PRCA Pro Rodeo gets underway, and we'll be there to cover it all week. Reporting in Greeley, I'm Slam dunks and smiles is what the Harlem Ambassadors are all about as they perform their show basketball game in communities all around the world.
It's actually pretty fun to play the Harlem Ambassadors. I mean, it gives me a chance to work with kids and make an impact on somebody's life.
That impact is an important message that these athletes shoot to get across to the world's youth.
So we're going to you and we're telling you to stay drug-free and to earn your college degree. We've done it. We're living proof that it can be done and you'll succeed in life.
Every player on the Ambassadors roster has attended college and participated in college hoops. And every player has their own story.
A lot of people like to take shortcuts, and in my community where I grew up, a lot of people got locked up or they were, murdered.
Lady Magic has been with the Harlem Ambassadors for 13 years and acts as the team's coach, performer, and vice president of operations. Magic uses her talents and passion for basketball to make a difference in the communities she visits.
Professional athletes, they listen to us and we're role models. And as I tell everyone, I'm not a model playing a role, I am a role model and I take that job seriously.
You may have heard of the Ambassadors, but what you may not have known is they practice and train right here in our own backyard in a church gymnasium. Now, the Harlem Ambassadors may be based out of Fort Collins, however, they travel to all 50 states across the U.S. On top of that, 19 different countries throughout the entire world.
We've been to Tahiti, Iceland, Germany, Hungary. We've been to Madro, Palau, Pompeii, Rota, Chuk.
100% of the ticket sales for each show the Ambassadors puts on goes straight to the community or organization that they're performing for.
Fun is, it's actually an enlightening experience because you're actually making a difference in somebody's lives. You see some of the kids that are having a bad day or something, you actually be able to put a smile on somebody's face.
If you're out there and you're drug-free, you want to inspire young people, you're living a righteous life, check us out.
Reporting in Fort Collins, I'm Anthony Keith, Northern Colorado 5 Sports. Many customers were confused when they noticed Colorado Eagles players and CSU football coaches behind the bar at Lucky Joe's Saloon. What they didn't know is that these athletes and coaches were pouring drinks for a good cause.
Everybody's got a story with cancer. 1 in 3 are diagnosed. 3 out of 4 families will deal with it in their lifetime.
Ram Strength, formerly known as Ramstrong, aids cancer survivors in meeting their basic needs through helping pay for treatments, bills, car payments, and other costs related to recovery.
We're the glue that holds you together while you're going through the cancer experience.
One program they put on to raise money annually is Guest Bartender Night. Several local celebrities were serving drinks with all the tips benefiting Ram Strength.
This is just a little piece, to give back, and we're happy to do it.
Those manning the bar included players from the Colorado Eagles, coaches from the CSU football team, and for the ladies, several local firefighters. Jason Beatty of the Eagles is normally a skilled player on the ice, but those talents don't come in handy when someone orders a Singapore sling on the rocks.
Kind of easy when people are just ordering, the basic drinks, but, it's a little confusing when you get the concoctions going there, but everyone there was willing to help us, and we helped out, and it was a good cause.
Part of the benefit was to celebrate Dustin Hamden, a firefighter who ran a 200-mile relay race solo to raise money for Ram Strength and Grit. As Dustin explains, being a firefighter goes beyond a 40-hour work week.
So every day that maybe we're not in uniform, we're still representing the fire department. We ultimately got into the fire service is to give back to that community.
Aside from collecting tips at the bar, an auction was held with several very valuable items, ranging from a Kyle Orton signed jersey to an Eagles LaFlaunt jersey.
People put $2 in the tip jar, $5, and it all helps. Without the community support, we wouldn't exist. So we run strictly by community donations.
Overall, the event raised $4,000 for Ram Strength. Reporting in Old Town Fort Collins, I'm Anthony Keith, Northern Colorado 5 Sports.
There's nothing like the sweet sound of a chainsaw at a lumberjack competition. Earlier this week, the skies were clear and some competitions were taking place over water with fans getting sunburned and breaking a sweat just from standing. But within 24 hours, the snow hit, and a few fans didn't quite dress according to the weather.
I gotta know, why the towel? It's cold.
Earlier in the week, we saw, no pun intended, some pretty fun events from the log roll to the pole climb, and yes, even the risky obstacle in which these lumberjills hustled up an inverted log while carrying a chainsaw. But the true lumberjack disciplines are the single buck, standing block chop, stock saw, and underhand chop. Representing CSU was Adrian Flicht, who explained to us what kind of effect the cold has on these athletes.
Oh, the weather is a big mental hurdle, I think. I know I didn't feel like myself today. A little cold, you got 10 layers of stuff on before you get going, and then 10 layers of stuff to get off.
Despite the freezing weather, the competition still went on today. The winner will receive a $1,000 scholarship from Steele, and on top of that, go on to the national competition. Flicht hacked like a madman and had a time of 1 minute and 6 seconds on the underhand chop. He ended up taking 4th place out of 11 with 32 points.
Kind of disappointing. I thought I could make a strong performance when putting in a lot of time preparing for the event, and so that's definitely cost us some training time. But that's just how it goes sometimes. On the stock saw, I didn't have a full cookie. I bounced my feet up a little bit, and so that ended up costing me. Had the presence of mind to make another full disc because you can't take a DQ, but that ended up costing me in the end.
David Green from Central Oregon Community College took 1st place in the Steel Timber Sports Western Collegiate Challenge with 38 points. Reporting from CSU's logging sports field, I'm Anthony Keith, Northern Colorado 5 Sports.